everybody, and welcome to Guitar Moves Romania, international online conferences organized under the tutelage of Harmonia Cordis Association. My name is Mădălina Petre. I am a classical guitarist and a jazz singer from Romania, and I am currently undergoing my PhD studies at the National Music University of Bucharest. My research coordinators are Professor Dr. Antigona Rădulescu and Professor Dr. Cătălin Ștefănescu Pătrașcu. I am honored to be a part of this great event, and before starting, I want to thank Beke Istvan Ferenc for inviting me to participate in his conference series, and also Florian Bapțan Varga for his support and wonderful organization. Today, I have the great opportunity to present my doctoral research entitled Jazz Elements in the Brazilian Compositions for Classical Guitar. Actually, the multitude of jazz elements that are to be found in the Brazilian compositions dedicated to classical guitar is something in which I have been greatly interested for a long time now, even more so since I wish to give young classical guitar students the possibility to better understand these works. Before I start, I also like to take a moment and tell you a little about myself and my musical career, since some of these details have greatly influenced the artist I am today and the reason for which I choose to do my doctoral research in this topic. Like mentioned before, I am a classical guitarist, and as a performer, I am a part of Bucharest Guitar Quartet. I also work as an accompanist, having had the chance to work with great and gifted singers like the soprano Irina Iorduchescu and tenor Mario Vasiliu. I have also the chance to perform as a musical actor at the Notara Theatre in the famous play Much Ado About Nothing, written by William Shakespeare. As a singer, I have had the chance to be mentored by one of the greatest Romanian jazz guitarists. Ta-dam! Alex Mann, to be a part of a jazz quartet together, and through the years to have the opportunity to sing with some of the greatest jazz musicians from both Romania and abroad. My relationship with Harmonia Cordis Association is also a long-standing one, having been invited to sing in the International Classical Guitar Festival in Târgu Mureș for something like 6 editions in a row, sharing the stage with the amazing both classical and jazz guitarist Antal Pustai. He has been such a great inspiration for me. So, Alex Mann, my jazz guitar teacher, and Cătălin Ștefănescu Pătrașcu, my classical guitar teacher, have greatly influenced my direction in music, assisting me in finding the topic I wanted to further my studies in. Because of this, I strongly and wholeheartedly suggest to those that want to proceed with their PhD studies to choose a topic that is close to their hearts, and this will make the entire process much easier and more enjoyable. As with any career, you know that the beginnings can be quite challenging. For me, being a singer presented the challenge of not always being able to have somebody as my accompanist. That is how I decided to make my own accompaniments. And learning jazz guitar also had this challenge because, I had to learn to better listen and focus on reading jazz chord charts, think about voicings, phrasings, balance, pulse, and so on. However, even if the work was hard, my favorite part of all of this was to practice acompañamientos for sambas and bossa novas. An interesting and fun fact is that bossa nova actually means the new wave, and I am looking forward to dive a bit further into this topic later on my presentation. While furthering my studies in the jazz guitar repertoire, I realized that if I applied for a PhD program, I would have the amazing opportunity of combining the classical and jazz areas guitar compositions in order to create an original work that could better explain the way these elements combine and coexist in the Brazilian compositions written for classical guitar. I divided my thesis into 5 chapters. The first chapter is an introduction about the traditional music of Brazil, a short history about the genesis of South American music, genres, styles, and examples of Brazilian composers that have influenced classical and contemporary music with their creations, such as Xisto Bahia, Joaquim da Silva Calado, Chiquina Gonzaga, and Ernesto G. Nazaret. In fact, these great names of MPB, Música Popular Brasileira, and I will choose to refer about it in my thesis under the term of traditional music, not popular. So Música Popular Brasileira appeared in the 19th century. It is interesting to note that the emergence of MPB coincided with the development of the Brazilian cities, serving as context for a new cultural identity to appear. One of the important figures in this movement, Joaquim da Silva Calado, created the first instrumental group of refined character and also very popular in Rio de Janeiro called Choro. Choro was originally the name given to a happening between a group of musicians, later becoming the name of a musical genre. Choro was a magical moment of interaction and mixture of races from Brazil, presenting a stimulating, free, and invigorating music with many modulations and complex melodies. Regarding the classical guitar repertoire, one of the first and most important choros written for guitar is Sons de Carniões by João Pernambuco. So this gives way to the second chapter of my thesis, where I present Brazilian musical styles and genres encountered in the classical guitar literature, such as choro, samba, and bossa nova. So, choro appeared around 1870s. When Brazilian people began to adopt in their own way fashionable European dances, such as waltz, polka, or Scottish dances. The first choro structures are closer to classical music, while the modern version has more elements in common with jazz, giving space to the improvisational moment. The word choro, means crying, and the most representative cycle belongs to one of the most prolific Brazilian composers, Heitor Villa-Lobos, that wrote these 14 choros with introduction and chorobis between 1920 and 1929. He wrote them for various instruments. So, in the 40s and 50s, samba was the most distinct form of musical expression. At the beginning of the 20th century, samba was associated with black communities coming from Bahia and settling in neighborhoods such as Saúde or Onze. They called their party samba, a word derived from samba, which meant choosing umbigada. This is very nice. It's the meaning of a ritual that involved touching a woman's abdomen with a men's abdomen. The word samba was first published in 1839 by the monk Miguel do Sacramento Lopes Gama. Yes, in the magazine Carapuceiro, where he referred to it as a new type of dance. Samba was formed of music based on percussion instruments and various palmed rhythms such as batucada, dundu, or jongo. But over the years, the pulse of urban samba in Rio de Janeiro was also influenced by more rhythms such as machixe, baião, and cocos, the faster brother of the aforementioned rhythm. So, in the classical guitar literature, these terms often exist in the titles of the works or in the indications left by the composers that lead the musicians to a better understanding of the spirit of the piece. An example in this direction is the work composed for four guitars, A Furiosa, Machixe, by Paolo Bellinati, which I will attach to my doctoral thesis in a recording with my colleagues from Bucharest Guitar Quartet. So, this is very funny because Brazilian people have a great energy and they use words to put titles or to create atmosphere. Like, for example, I mentioned A Furiosa by Paolo Bellinati, which is a machixe, and the meaning of this word, machixe, means pickle. And also the song has a very, I don't know, dancing atmosphere. It's like I don't know, pickle is something like very cute, and the atmosphere of the song, it's very energical and very cute. You could imagine pickles dancing. Okay, so enough with the joke moment. By the end of the 50s, however, samba had been greatly influenced by foreign rhythms such as bolero, rumba, cha-cha-cha, rock, twist, and merengue, a process that gave rise to versions of samba of questionable quality. As a reaction to the stagnation of creation in the Brazilian popular music, in the late 50s, we witnessed the birth of bossa nova. So, guys, I really have to tell you that I created this text of presentation, something like a script, and I'm recording it now, but I'm reading it because it was basically impossible for me to keep it by heart. But I really hope that you guys enjoy the information, and I assure that this text is written 200% by me. And yeah, I'm gonna continue by presenting it. It is said that bossa nova, or the new wave, it's an artistic current that initially lasted only 6 years in Brazil, but contributed with many songs to the standard jazz repertoire. So, bossa nova is the slow and intellectualized version of samba. Therefore, bossa nova did not only appear as a reaction against the development of samba in a stylistically inappropriate direction, but also as a reaction caused by the need for novelty that came with the development of both the country and other arts. So this is something serious, because at the time new ideas appeared in other fields of art like cinematography, poetry, classical music, choreography. In the Brazilian popular music, this general process of renewal has found its way through bossa nova. So, historically talking, 1958 can be considered the year in which bossa nova was born, a moment marked by the meeting of three figures from three different spheres of musical creation. João Gilberto, representing the rhythm, Antonio Carlos Jobim, a master of melodic creation and harmonies, and Vinicius de Moraes, a great creator of lyrics. The most important of them, they say, is João Gilberto. He was a guitarist from Bahia, who brought with him the atmosphere and quiet drowsiness of his land. He created a new rhythm, through bossa nova, that was different from the usual way musicians were playing guitar until then. He gave samba a slower and sweeter rhythm with more core, as the music critics of that period would say. The first meeting of the three took place at a recording of an LP entitled Cansado do Amor de Mães by Elizabeth Cardoso, an album that included 12 songs under the signature of this new duet, Vinicius de Moraes and Antonio Carlos Jobim. And also Joao's Gilberto guitar also appeared in two of them, Chega de Saudade and Outra Vez. But back in 20s and 30s, the appearance of radio and electrical recording made it possible for the golden age of Brazilian popular music to flourish by launching many talented musicians from all over the country. So after 1945, the end of the war caused the invasion of North American music and music from the United States, which spread throughout the world, including Brazil, through radio and through television. So it is easy to understand in this situation that jazz, already developed in the States, has had an important impact on the music of his country. In the 50s, the National Radio of Brazil contracted conductors and musicians such as Radames Natali, Hannibal Garoto, and many others, whose compositions I will include in my doctoral thesis. This leads me to the presentation of the following chapters. Chapters 3, 4, and 5 include not only the interpretative analysis of some representative creations. I choose these creations from the repertoire of composers such as João Pernambuco, Celso Machado, Heitor Villa-Lobos, Laurindo Almeida. There are so many. Baden Powell, Luis Bonfa, Hannibal Garoto, Radames Natali, Paolo Bellinati, Sergio, and Clarissa Sad. We actually have recorded Clarice Assad guitar quartet Brazilian a few weeks ago. So, and also Marco Pereira, and he is one of my favorites. So I'm not going to do only the analysis, but I am thinking about explaining the principles of interpretation, dynamics, egogics, articulation, and phrasing, specific technical procedures, and of course I will speak about the jazz elements encountered in these compositions, melody, harmony, the way the voices are conducted, the specific rhythms, and the architectural constructions. It would be very difficult for me to give you every detail of my thesis, and I know that maybe playing something would fit this presentation. So, because I have mentioned the first bossa nova, Chega de Saudade, in 1958, I will give you my version of Chega de Saudade. I will tell you before playing and singing that I will use a basic rhythm of bossa nova. You know, Brazilian people are very free and they alternate the poles. But I will choose to stay more on the basic formula of rhythm. And also I will tell you that it will be now, like now when I will record, it will be the first time for me in singing in Portuguese. But this is like, I want to give you a part of the repertoire that inspired me to choose this topic. And once again, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you will enjoy my song. And for those students that want to apply to PhD, keep in mind that you might be helped by finding a subject that you are really passionate about. So thank you again, enjoy the audition, and yeah, see you later, no? Vai minha tristeza, e já ela que sem ela não pode ser, diz-lhe numa prece que ela regresse porque não posso mais sofrer. Chega de saudade, a realidade aqui, sem ela não há paz, não há beleza, e só tristeza e melancolia que não sai de mim, não sai de mim, não sai. Mas se ela voltar, que coisa linda, que coisa louca, pois há menos peixinhos a nadar no mar do que os beijinhos que eu darei na sua boca. Dentro dos meus braços, os abraços são de ser milhões de abraços, apertado assim, colado assim, calhado assim, abraços e beijinhos e carinhos sem ter fim, que é pra acabar com esse negócio de viver longe de mim. Não quero mais esse negócio de você viver assim. Vamos deixar desse negócio de você viver sem mim. So once again, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed my conference and my presentation. I am looking forward to see you guys again for the next event.